She said this fate is the ratio of
Who you
who
are and
you
who
are,
you want to
who
be.
you want to be. Do you think there's something to this whole manifestation thing, like focusing on a vision of what you want the world to become, and in that focusing, you manifest it? Like Paulo Coelho said in The Alchemist, when you want something, all the universe conspires in helping you to achieve it. Is there something to that?
I think so, yes. And I always think of, what I do as the culmination of energy, information, and matter,
Mm-hmm.
and how to direct energy, information, and matter in the design of a thing or in the design of a life. I think living is very much a process of channeling these energies to where they need to go. I think that the manifestation, or part of that manifestation, is the pointing to the moon in order to get to the moon. And that's why manifestation is also directional. It has that vector quality to it that I think of agency as.
Have you, in your own life, has there been things you've done where you kind of direct that energy, information, and matter in a way that opens up?
New possibilities.
Yeah. I mean, you've also said somewhere, I'm probably misquoting, that you're many things. You and Neri are many things, and you become new things every 10 years or so.
Oh, I did say that somewhere.
Somewhere.
That every decade you sort of switch.
That was a previous Neri that said that.
Yeah, I did say some time ago that you have to sort of reboot every 10 years to keep creative and keep inventive and keep fresh.
Is there things you've done in your life where just kind of doors opened?
I think everything good I've found in my life has been found in that way of letting go and suspending my sense of disbelief. And often you will find me say to the team, suspend your disbelief. I don't care that this is impossible. Let's assume it is. Where does it take us? Mm-hmm. And that suspension of disbelief is absolutely part and parcel of the creative act. I did so when I was in medical school. I was in Hadassah and in the Hebrew University. And I remember I left medical school for architecture the day my grandmother passed away. And that was a moment of relief. And that was a door that was closing that opened other opportunities. But that, of course, required letting go of the great vision of becoming a doctor and letting go of the dream of, being surrounded by wonderful patients and the science of medicine and the research associated with that science, and letting go of that dream to accomplish another. And it has happened throughout my life in different ways. MIT was another experience like that, where people pointed at me as, the designer for whom the academic currency is not necessarily the citation index. And of course, in order to get tenure at MIT, you have to look at the citation index. But for me, it was not that. It was manifesting our work in shows and writing papers and writing patents and creating a celebration around the work. And I never saw a distinction, between those ways of being. I also think that another kind of way of being, or a modality of being, that I found helpful is Viktor Frankl wrote this incredible book, Man's Search for Meaning, after the Holocaust. And he writes different people pursue life for different reasons. According to Freud, the goal of life is to find pleasure, and according to Adler, it's to find power. And for Viktor Frankl, it was about finding meaning. And when you let go of the titles and the disciplines and the boundaries and the expectations and the perception, you are elevated to this really special, spiritual, but definitely very, very creative plane where you can sort of start anew.
Mm-hmm.
look at the world through the lens of a bacterium or a robot, or look at ecology through the lens of chemistry, and look at chemistry through the lens of robotics, and look at robotics through the lens of, microbial ecologies, and so on and so forth. And I feel that kind of rebooting, not every 10 years, but every minute, every breath,
Mm-hmm.
is very, very important for a creative life, and for just maintaining this fresh mind, to reboot, to begin again with every breath, begin again. And that can be confusing for some, right? For my team members, I like to change my mind. It's who I am. It's how I think. It's how I operate.
Mm-hmm.
um, and they'll come, and we found another technique or another technology that's interesting, and we thought that we were working on this functionalized fragrance, but now there's another opportunity, and let's go there. And to me, I would much rather, live life like, if I had to pick sort of my favorite Broadway show to enter and live through, it would be Into the Woods.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a specific fairy tale. It's not, the Sleeping Beauty or Little Red Riding Hood, or Rapunzel. It's all of them. It's sort of moving into the forest and seeing this wonder and getting close and learning about that, and then moving to another wonder. And life is really about tying all of these little fairy tales together, in work and also in life.
Unafraid to leap into the unknown.
Unafraid to leap into the unknown.
Speaking of MIT, you got a tenure at MIT, and then you leaped to New York and start a new company that with a vision that doesn't span a couple of years but centuries.
I did. It was my destiny to start a company. And
Yeah.
and do I have mornings when I wake up and I ask myself, what the hell am I doing?
Yeah.
Yes, I have those mornings.
What do you do with those mornings, by the way?
I embrace them, and I find gratitude, and I say to myself, thank goodness I'm so lucky to have the ability to be frustrated in this way.
Mm-hmm.
So I really, really embrace these frustrations, and I take them, I wrap them in a bubble, and I look at it, on the outside of my uh, aware mind, and I laugh at them, I smile at them,